Hello everyone, this is part 16 of What If Naruto Was the Child of the Moon in Percy Jackson, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Would you believe that after dying young, you would be revived after a quest of your newfound friend? No. Then, you are in for a surprise. That is what exactly happened to a young demigod. Her name is Talia Grace. The demigod who died at the entrance of Camp Half-Blood in order for her friends to reach the said camp safely. The same hero who was the reason why the entrance to their beloved camp is called Half-Blood Hill. Yes, the very same Talia Grace. Camp was never the same once Talia joined them, not to mention the summons that the resident ninja had received on the day the daughter of Zeus got out of her tree. For starters, the other campers acted like headless chickens around her. You couldn't even blame them though, they still haven't gotten over the fact that she was once dead. Also, don't even get me started on the Aphrodite girls, they made fun of, everything actually. They started with her punk-style clothes, then the blonde streaks on her hair that didn't go with her black hair, then they went after the silly birthmark thingy on her face saying that only Naruto could pull that off. Long story short, they got narrowly blasted by lightning. Everyone who saw that made a mental note never, make fun of Talia Grace. Nevertheless, she had a good time at camp, especially when she hung out with Naruto's posse. It was a nice for her and Annabeth. The hardest part to tell her though, was the fact that it was Luke who betrayed camp and poisoned her. She couldn't believe what her friends was telling her. After Chiron backed up the story though, she resigned herself to the truth. In other news, Naruto introduced Chiron to the great sage Toad and told him about the summons he got from the godime Hokage. Since Naruto was a special case and he was actually from there, Chiron approved of Naruto going back to the elemental nations even though summer session was far from over. When Grover learned of this, he practically begged the centaur for permission to go with Naruto since he was on break. It would have been better to ask the god of wine, himself, but the satyr was terrified of him. After hearing no end to Grover's whining, Chiron consulted with Dionysus. He said that there was nothing wrong with it. I think he just didn't really care. Naruto chimed in and asked permission to take friends with him, which the wine god half-heartedly okayed. Naruto broke the news to his friends, but two of them declined. The first one was Percy, who said that he promised his mom that he was going home for the summer. And the second one was Annabeth, who was weirdly acting strange in front of Naruto. She started acting cold towards Naruto ever since Talia's display and their surprising closeness after the latter was revived. Later on, the party who would visit Konoha was ready to go. The first to arrive, or rather camp out at the meeting place, was Grover, who was a little too eager to explore the shinobi world out. The wood nymph that Naruto saw at the dance last year, who he learned was named Juniper, came to his little camp to see him off. The satyr couldn't stop talking about their trip and the stories Naruto told him about his home world. The wood nymph was envious of his boyfriend because she, sadly, couldn't come with them since she can't venture far away from her tree. Naruto came next to find Grover's small camp. The scene certainly made him chuckle after remembering his old enthusiastic self. He planned to wear his old ninja attire back to camp, but it no longer fit him. Instead, he wore a Camp Half-Blood shirt modified with a whirlpool symbol at the back paired with jeans and shoes. He still wore the necklace that Tsunade gave him, but this time there were two beads that were laced with the pendant. "Aren't you a little too early, Grover?" Naruto asked as he reached the meeting place. "Yeah, Grover. You wouldn't even be left behind even if you were late," Juniper added as soon as he heard him. Grover gave out a nervous laugh. "Sorry guys. I guess I was a little too excited." "That is one huge understatement," a new voice said. Everyone turned to see Talia walk up to them, apparently hearing their whole conversation. "Come on guys. I'm just excited. That's all," Grover whined, earning laughs from everyone present. Eventually, Chiron and Mr. D trudged up the hill to meet the travelers. Normally, I wouldn't allow anyone to just leave just like this, but given that you're going to replace with hardly any monster after your skin, I will make an exception. Right, Chiron nodded. "Now, is this everyone who is going on the trip?" "Yeah," Naruto answered. "Too bad Percy and Annabeth couldn't come. And is it just me or is Annabeth acting weird?" Juniper couldn't help but facepalm at Naruto's statement. Apparently, Grover told the wood nymph about what was happening with his friends. You are smart, Naruto, but you sure are dense, you know that. Grover thought to himself, not wanting to offend his friend. Don't worry, Naruto. I'm sure Annabeth just has things on her mind right now. It's best we just leave her be. Chiron said. Well then, if everything is in order, I guess it is time. Mr. D lazily said. First, take these. Mr. D lazily waved his hand. A lone grapevine grew beside him. What was peculiar about this vine is that the fruits that grew on it were gold in color. The god plucked 3 of the grapes and handed each of them one of the fruits. What is this for, Mr. D? Grover asked. When you are ready to come home, crush it and you will be transported back here to camp. The wine god explained. Kinda like Lord Poseidon's pearls. Naruto asked. Yes, boy. The wine god confirmed. And one more thing, for your 2 companions. With a snap of his fingers, a small black cube that looked like a radio appeared in his hand, which he handed to Talia and Grover. What's this for? Talia asked. It's so Naruto here won't have to keep translating for you too. Mr. D explained. Ooh. Handy, Grover said. Don't eat it, Satter. Do you understand? Mr. D preemptively scolded the Satter, knowing his tendencies. Why yes sir. Grover stuttered out a response. Okay then. Now that everything's in order, it's time to transport you to your destination. After waiting for final goodbyes from the wood nymph, Mr. D said, Don't get yourselves killed there, you brats. It would spare me of the explanation and long boring report I would have to give to father if you did. Wait, Grover's eyes widened. Killed. What do you? Mr. D snapped his fingers. From under the demigods and Satter's feet, grapevines started to sprout and cover them. After they were covered from head to toe, the vines started to fold and compress upon itself. The folding continued until there was an audible pop like someone removing the cork from a bottle of wine. Woods in the elemental nations. In the middle of the woods somewhere in the land of Shinobi, grapevines started to grow out of nowhere, scaring the woodland creatures that were milling around the area. A full stalk of vines grew out of the ground. Once it was in full height, the vines paused for a minute before receding back to the ground, revealing 3 teenagers from within the plant tendrils. Once all of the vines disappeared back into the ground, each of the teenagers rushed to find their respective spot where they could disgorge the contents of their stomachs as they felt sick after their interdimensional travel. Oh gods, it was a good thing I was unconscious when I was first traveled. Naruto said in between hurls. Ugh. Grover groaned. All those tin cans I ate this morning. Ugh. Talia nursed her stomach. I don't know if I would get used to that. The 3 travelers spent a few minutes disgorging the contents of their stomachs as they recovered from the backlash of their transport. Once Naruto was feeling a little better, the smell of saltiness in the air entered his nostrils. Wait, Naruto said, gaining the attention of his companions. This smell. What's wrong? Talia asked. Naruto didn't answer. Instead, he raced off towards the direction of the scent he picked up. They soon found a path that led out of the wooded area into a wide, open area with a large stone bridge crossing across the ocean. Naruto stopped in front of plaque built on one of the posts of the bridge. What's the big idea? Talia asked when they finally caught up with him. Yeah, Naruto, Grover said in between pants. Why'd you run off all of a sudden? Naruto didn't answer. He was lost in nostalgia at the sight of the bridge he was standing in front of. Hey, Naruto. Talia yelled, trying to get his attention. Hey. What? Naruto was broken out of his stupor. Sorry about that. So, what is this place? Talia asked. This is the place where I completed my first ever real mission, you know. Naruto explained with his eyes lost in though. This is the place where I decided my ninja way thanks to the enemies that I fought that day. Grover and Talia were silent for a while, allowing Naruto to reminisce about his past. A few moments later, Grover spoke up. So, what does that say? It says, the Great Naruto Bridge, the blonde translated. So, they named the bridge after you, huh? You must be pretty famous around here. Talia commented. Nah, I wouldn't say that. Naruto waved her comment off. Hey, it's him. He's returned. One of the locals yelled to the other townsfolk. Get Tazuna out here. More of the locals came and surrounded Naruto and pulling him towards town. Everyone was so happy to see him that they started giving him gifts from their shops that were too many for the blonde to know what to do with. Come on, stay for a while. We'll prepare a big feast. One of the women said as they showed him around town. Naruto had to say that the place had totally changed after they finished their mission and restored hope to the town. Once they were in a big open area, the crowd finally dispersed into their respective houses so they could prepare everything for the feast. You were saying, Talia said, referring to her earlier statement. Naruto didn't get to answer as Grover yelled in amazement at the gadget tied to his neck like a necklace. This is awesome. He yelled in glee. Remind me not to eat this no matter how hungry or nervous I am. This earned a round of chuckles from the satyr's two companions. It was then that a gray-haired, bespectacled old man with a large beard and dark eyes approached them. He was wearing a sleeveless V-neck shirt with an obi, pants and a pair of sandals. There was also a towel which he carried a towel around his neck. My, look at you. You've grown. You're not quite the runt you were before. The old man said as he saw the blonde. Of course, I did, old man Tazuna. Naruto answered. You haven't changed a bit. Is that so? I know I've started to look older through the years. Anyway, come on, you and your friends can wait for the feast at our house. We have a lot to catch up about. Naruto, Talia, and Grover entered Tazuna's house. It still looked the same as when they were last here back in the blonde's first real mission. Naruto remarked about how Inari had grown up from the small brat he was when he was younger and how Tsunami, Inari's mother, hadn't changed a bit as well. Tazuna brought up about the news of Naruto's disappearance. The blonde had to think on his feet to make up a long story about where he had been all this time. The family didn't seem to buy his story at first, but they soon bought into Naruto's story, or maybe they Naruto to his privacy, not wanting to pry too much, who knows. After a few stories and introductions with Talia and Grover, the feast was finally ready. There was too much food that was made, too much even for the locals. Grover asked why they did this, and one of the men said that it was the least they can do after Naruto had restored the land of waves back to its former glory. Everyone had a good time that day. It surely was a huge celebration that provided food even to travelers who were passing by. Even after the three were stuffed, the locals insisted for them to take home some more food. 2. Is this where you live? Talia asked in between mouthfuls of food. Nah, I only came here for that one mission, Naruto said. My home is farther from here. How would we get there then? Grover asked. You guys have taxis or something? Talia added. Sorry guys. Normally, we would tree hop, but since you guys aren't shinobi, the only way to get around here is to walk, you know. Naruto said. And how long till we get there? A day or two, maybe, Naruto said nonchalantly. What? Konohagakure gate. Yawn. Isn't there anything fun for us to do? A shinobi with long, spiky, black hair and dark eyes sighed out loud. This particular shinobi has a strip of bandage running across the bridge of his nose and a mark on his chin. If you don't slack off, then maybe we won't be stuck in guard duty. A shinobi with brown hair combed down to cover his right eye. His forehead protector was worn like a bandana along with the standard Konoha shinobi outfit which goes all the way up to his chin. It was just another day in Konoha. Nothing interesting was happening, or so they thought. At this particular time of the day, the two gate guards heard someone speaking with a voice they've never heard before. I can't believe this place, the voice said. The nature here is thriving. How can you still enjoy the sights after walking that far? This time a female voice that they also didn't recognize whined. Let him be. This time an all too familiar voice said. We're almost there anyway. We'll get to rest soon enough. But you said that ages ago. The female voice continued her whining. Is that who I think it is, Izumo? The spiky-haired shinobi with a bandage over his nose asked his partner. I think it is, Kotetsu. Could it be? The now named Izumo answered. The voices got louder and louder along with their footsteps that got closer and closer until the familiar blonde-haired kid walked past the gate. Man, it's good to be back. I told you it's him. Izumo said. I didn't say anything, you idiot. Kotetsu scolded his friend. You guys, you're the two from the Chunin exam. What are your names again? Naruto said, recognizing the two gate guards. The two gate guards' expression dropped when Naruto didn't remember the names. They just sighed and told him the names. Anyway, you two are still stuck guarding the gate, I see. Naruto said, scratching the back of his head. That's none of your business. Izumo said defensively. His partner cleared his throat. Don't mind my friend here, Naruto. Anyway, who are your companions here? They're my friends from Naruto didn't know what to answer to the two. Sorry you guys, I'll have to ask Tsunade no Barken what I can tell everybody. No problem, Izumo said. She'll be in her office. Please, go see her now. Naruto, Talia and Grover walked through town unnoticed among the people. They must have thought that the blonde was somebody else's henge no jutsu, though they gave odd looks at the blonde's two companions since they were new here. The blonde climbed one of the tall posts to take in the sights. To him, everything looked just the same as when he left other than the great stone face of the fifth Hokage. That structure amazed the dimensional travelers, saying that it looked like the faces on Mount Rushmore. Grover was sad that Annabeth wasn't able to come with them. He said that she would have loved to see the new architecture that they were seeing. On the way to the office, they passed by towards a particular stand. Talia had to pull the blonde away when they passed by the original Ichiraku ramen stand, so they wouldn't get sidetracked and other people might approach them without an official story to tell everyone. After much whining from Naruto after getting deprived of his food of the gods, they made it to the Hokage office. Once they were there, Naruto knocked on the door. Moments before Naruto arrived, a fair-skinned woman with brown eyes and straight blonde hair that parts above her forehead and ran down towards her lower back sat on her desk staring at the stack of papers on her desk. She was wearing a grass-green haori with the kanji do on the back, inside a red circle. Underneath there was gray, kimono-style blouse with no sleeves, held closed by a broad, dark bluish-gray obi that matches her pants. Her blouse is closed quite low, revealing her sizable cleavage. She let out a loud sigh. Work in Konoha continued as usual despite the disappearance of one Naruto Uzumaki, but for her, it was never the same. A quick backstory for you readers: this woman had lost her younger brother and the love of her life in the previous war, which led her to give up on being a shinobi and go on a spree of gambling and alcohol. After the blonde had disappeared, she had a relapse of sorts. She had slowly spiraled into a depression of sorts, beginning to neglect work and drink bottle after bottle of sake. That is, until news of Naruto's survival reached her from the great sage of Mount Myoboku. She slowly returned to her usual self, assured that the boy she entrusted her hopes to was still alive and was yet to come home. He will be here any second, Lady Tsunade. You better not slack off, her companion told her. Her companion was a fair-skinned woman, onyx eyes and jet black hair. Her hair is straight and shoulder length with bangs that cover her ears and frame her face. She was wearing a long bluish-black kimono with white trimmings, held closed by a white obi, and open-toed sandals with low heels. I know, Shizune. Can't I take a little break? After that question, there was a knock on the door. Come in, Tsunade said. The door opened, revealing a familiar blonde along with two strangers in tow. At the sight of the blonde, Tsunade perked up and finally smiled after all this time. It is good to see you again, Naruto. Tsunade greeted. It's good to be back, Tsunade no Barken, Naruto greeted back. Sorry for disappearing like that. Senin no Jichin told me you take it hard. I have to admit, we were all losing hope that you would return, Tsunade said. Lady Tsunade here was depressed after you disappeared, Naruto. Shizune added. Tsunade cleared her throat. Shizune, mind your own business. Sorry. Shizune apologized. So, Naruto, where have you been all this time? The million-dollar question was asked. Hope you're not busy, Barken, cause it's going to be a long story. Naruto answered. Actually, she left a lot of work to do, Shizune butt in again. Shizune, the Hokage was getting irritated. Don't mind her, Naruto. She's relieved to see. And don't worry, we'll make time for you. Shizune said. A few minutes later. So, that's it. Naruto finished his story. Tsunade and Shizune were speechless. They didn't know what to make of the blonde's story or if he was telling the truth at all. It was certainly a bizarre story for anyone to believe in. Another world run by gods, huh? The Hokage finally said. It's okay if you don't believe me. I couldn't believe it myself either the first time I was sent there, Naruto said. And you're saying that one of the goddesses adopted you as her own son? Shizune asked. That's the gist of it, Naruto answered. The Hokage and her assistant deep breaths to process what Naruto had told them. Well, do you at least have proof? Tsunade asked. Sorry, this is all just too hard to believe. Naruto thought for a moment and walked over to Grover. He removed the satyr's cap and took away his crutches. Hey, Grover protested. Sorry, Grover, but could you show them your feet? Naruto pleaded. Do I have to? Grover whined. Come on, Grover, Talia pleaded as well. You just need to show them. Naruto and Talia took a little more pushing. The satyr relented. I suppose. You see, I don't really need these crutches. The satyr slowly took off his shoes and raised up his pants sleeves, revealing to the Hokage and her assistant a pair of hairy goat feet. This earned a couple of wide eyes from the other two in the room. Naruto noticed their expression and asked, You can see this? Tell me you are seeing this too, Shizune, the Hokage told her assistant. I can Tsunade-sama, although I am having a hard time comprehending it myself, she answered. Talia frowned. Could it be? She raised her fingers and snapped her, breaking Tsunade and Shizune off their shock. Sorry about that, Tsunade apologized. This is all too much to take in all at once. That didn't work. It was Talia's turn to be shocked. Why? What did you do? Naruto asked. I tried manipulating the mist, but I can't feel it anywhere around here. Talia answered. Then, I guess there's no mist around here, Grover guessed. Well, I guess there's your proof, Naruto said. I guess we have no choice, but to believe you, Tsunade finally said after giving it a thought. That would explain why you three are wearing clothes we have never seen before. So, what do we tell everybody? Naruto asked. I doubt anyone would believe you even if you did tell the truth, Tsunade said. The official story would be you were taken into the next continent. I suppose that we best. Just then, frantic footsteps could be heard from the hallway, the owner of which barged into the Hokage office without even knocking, surprising everyone in the room. There stood a pink-haired teen wearing a red cheap-out dress. She had black gloves, low-heel, knee-high boots, black shorts underneath a short gray apron skirt, and gray elbow protectors. There was also a forehead protector tied like a bandana on her hair and a medical pouch tied to her thigh. There at the doorway, she stood staring at Naruto almost teary-eyed. Sakura-chan, Naruto greeted the newcomer. Hey there. After disappearing all this time, that's all you have to say. The now named Sakura said as she walked forward, ignoring the blonde's two companions. How have you been? Naruto added, but Sakura was still not amused, so he winced, expecting to be punched the way she did to him back when they were kids. But the punch never came. Instead, Naruto felt two arms wrap around him. He opened them to see Sakura wrapping him in an embrace. Idiot, I thought I lost you too. Yawn asterisk. A familiar pink-haired teen groaned from her sleep as the alarm clock on the desk beside her bed rang, signaling the start of another day. She didn't want to say it out loud, but she didn't look forward to this day like any other day. Well, not since that incident. Flashback. Sakura was waiting at the village gate ever since the party left to retrieve Sasuke. Tsunade had reluctantly left to go to her office to complete the piles of work that the Sandaime Hokage had left since he died. It was a pain, but she had to do it now that she was the Hokage. We have to return to the Hokage office, Sakura. Tsunade asked the pink-haired girl. Will you be okay here? The girl, named Sakura, had a faraway look in her eyes, but she managed to give an answer. I'll be okay here, Tsunade-sama. I want to be the first here as soon as Naruto and the others come back. I see, was all the Hokage could say. She knew where this girl was coming from, having experienced this long ago. Don't worry, she placed a hand on the pinket's shoulder. I'll send them back up as soon as the others are available. Thank you, Tsunade-sama, Sakura managed a smile. Tsunade nodded and smiled, then turned to leave. A look of horror returned to her face as the thought of the piles of paper she and Shizune had to sift through. Sakura returned to gaze at the distance as she waited for her beloved Sasuke to return. She stood there for the duration of the day. A bunch of people passed her by as she waited for them to arrive. She was, first, greeted by Rock Lee, who surprised her with his regained ability to walk again after the injuries he sustained in the Chunin exam. He explained that Tsunade was able to get him back on his feet after a risky, but fruitful surgery. He also told her that he was sent as backup for the team she was waiting for. She was, then, passed by the Konoha medical corps that was also sent after the team, followed by someone who had same markings on the face as Kiba along with 3 ninja dogs. She greeted them with a simple hello and asked them to see if everyone was okay. Lastly, Kakashi passed her by sitting at the village gate after a mission. Sakura explained the situation to her sensei, prompting the masked Jonin to quickly report to Hokage office. A few minutes later, Kakashi returned to the gate set to go back up the others. Sakura waited there with renewed hope of Sasuke returning, as the original team was now getting back up. She sat on the chair offered to her by the gate guards with her fingers crossed, as she did the whole day. As the sun was about to set, she could see the backup party walking towards the gate. She didn't see Sasuke with them. Her gut consequently twisted on itself as she got a bad feeling that they have returned worse than before. Her eyes widened in horror as she saw Neji and Choji on the verge of death, while Kiba and Shikamaru with severe injuries. When Shikamaru saw the Pinkett waiting at the gate, he walked up to her and said, I'm sorry, Sakura. I couldn't bring everyone back. What do you mean? Sakura asked, not understanding what was happening. Where's Naruto? Shikamaru shook his head. His eyes were on the verge of tears, but he managed to stay strong. Naruto is gone. End of flashback. Sakura was broken out of her musings as the voice of her mother blasted through the house calling her down for breakfast. Sakura, come on down or you'll be late. Her mother called out. She frowned. I know, Mom. I'm not a kid anymore. She sighed. Her eyes drifted to the one picture on the desk by her bed. It was their first picture taken when Team 7 was first formed. I'll find you someday, Naruto, and then, we'll both bring Sasuke back. The pink-haired Kunoichi got ready for her day. She finally went down to her mother and had breakfast that she had been pestering her with all morning. As soon as she was done, she left the house to go to work. Although she didn't want to, she had to go since she was a full-fledged Kunoichi. She just had to suffer through the day as she always did ever since her teammate disappeared. As she walked through the streets of Konoha, she couldn't help but overhear the other villagers gossiping this early in the morning. She heard them talking about a spiky blonde-haired teen with whisker marks on his face walking through town wearing weird clothes that they have never seen before. Could it be? Has he finally come home? These questions ran through her mind as she listened to the women's conversations. It came to the point where she couldn't take it anymore, and she had to disrupt them from the talking. Where? She burst into the question. Where was he headed? The women looked at her annoyed, but they still answered her question. Suki saw her headed to the Hokage's office just this morning. If you head there now, you might catch him. She bowed her head in gratitude to the lady who answered her question. Thank you, ma'am. The ladies just looked at her oddly and shrugged, returning to their early morning gossip. Sakura rushed to the Hokage office to see if the rumors were true. She had the fingers crossed the whole time she was running to where she might see Naruto again. After all these years that he has been gone, even seeing that idiot isn't so bad after all. It didn't take too long for her to reach the door of the office. In any other day, she would have knocked on the door and waited for a response from the Hokage, but today was different. Everything was thrown out of the window as she burst through the Hokage office to see right in front of her the blonde idiot who disappeared on her 2 years ago. Even though she found this idiot annoying when they were younger, it was nice seeing him again after all this time. Hey, Sakura, was all that idiot said to the Pinkett. She was speechless at the moment. She inched forward little by little until she was right in front of him, instinctively grabbed Naruto and wrapped him in much anticipated embrace. Tears welled from the Kunoichi's eyes. This time her voice seemed to work again. Idiot, I thought I lost you too. Naruto was surprised by his old teammate's actions. Even when they were both kids, she never did anything close to this. But since he's been gone a long time, he gave her the benefit of the doubt and returned the hug. Up close like this, Naruto noticed that Sakura was now shorter than himself. Having ramen shortage in the land ruled by the gods made him expand his palate and try the healthier options that were available, so that in the 2 years he spent there, he grew significantly. But that wasn't important right now. As if on cue, his hands moved to caress Sakura's back in comfort to his crying teammate. I'm sorry, Sakura, he said. It must have been hard without me around. Sakura never wanted to let go for fear that this idiot might disappear on her again and the whole grieving process would start all over again. Naruto broke the embrace even though Sakura was reluctant to let go. His own blue orbs studied his teammate's face, causing the latter's face to heat up, but that didn't matter to her right now. He gave his signature 1 million megawatt smile. You've gotten prettier through the years, Sakura. Sakura struggled to find the words to answer the blonde. She opened her mouth to answer, but Talia cleared her throat, clearly not amused by what's happening. So, Naruto, when are you gonna introduce us to the girl, ladies man? He turned to his two companions and scratched the back of his head. He, then, gestured over to the Pinkett and said, guys, this is Sakura. She's my old teammate. Sakura, these are Talia and Grover, they're my friends from the, other continent. Grover gave a simple wave, hi. Talia didn't seem convinced. Are you sure that's all? Sakura didn't say anything. She was too busy ignoring the neurotransmitters brewing within her head. Of course. She's got, other concerns, Naruto answered. You sure? Talia asked again as she watched the change in emotion on the other girl's face. Sure. I'm sure, Naruto reiterated. Sakura took this time to answer back to this girl she had never seen before. Why? Are you jealous, girl? And what if I am? Talia returned a glare. Who are you to him anyway? Thunder began rumbling outside, despite the sunny day earlier. Sakura ignored the rumbling and flared her chakra. I'll have you know he's been chasing me ever since we were young. Hey, that is not true, Naruto protested, only to fall on deaf ears. PSH, big deal. Talia answered back. Oh, I'll show you what a big deal is, Sakura said, flaring her chakra. So, you wanna go? Talia answered back with the thunder booming outside answering to her bidding. Whoa, 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 Naruto said, getting in between the two ladies. Geez, girls, I just got here. And besides, this is Barkan's office, you know. As soon as Naruto said that, Tsunade cleared her throat to get the attention of the two ladies arguing. Sakura, then, realized she was in the presence of her sensei and promptly apologized. I'll leave you to go show your guests around the village, Tsunade said. Just be sure to be at the hospital after lunch for a physical exam, so you can be reinstated as a shinobi. About that, Naruto said. I'm actually only here for a vacation. I have to return there after my break. They, kinda need me there, you know. I see, Tsunade said. I suppose I'll just have to grant you the same liberties as Jiraiya. Thank you, Barkan, Naruto said. Speaking of the Ero Sennin, where is he right now? He's out there looking for you ever since you disappeared, Tsunade answered. I see, Naruto began feeling guilty. I hope those toads tell him that I'm alive. I'll send word immediately, Tsunade said. Naruto started thinking of everyone else that he left in this world, especially a gray-haired Jonin instructor. Say Barkan, is Kakashi-sensei around? It was Sakura who spoke up. Oh, I know where he was going ever since you disappeared. I'll take you to him. Memorial Stone. Early in the morning, a spiky silver-haired man with dark gray eyes sporting a blank expression on his face as he stared at a kunai-shaped monument of sorts that overlooked a training ground where 3 stumps of wood rose from the ground. This man was wearing a flak jacket, dark blue pants, and a long-sleeve shirt that went up to his face. He also wears fingerless gloves with metal plates on the backhand and a chain necklace underneath. This said man left a cup of ramen complete with chopsticks in front of the memorial. I'm sorry, Obito, the silver-haired shinobi said. I couldn't protect him. It's like I can always hear his voice haunting me every day. I. Kakashi-sensei. A voice called out to him. Kakashi didn't look up. He kept his eyes on the stone. There it is again, it's getting more and more real as. I. Kakashi-sensei. The voice called out again, breaking him from his mourning. The voice was loud enough for him to think otherwise. This time he looked up and turned to check his surroundings. His lone visible eye widened like he had seen a ghost. There he was. The blonde who was lost all those years ago is now running towards him. He raised a hand to rub his eye. He still couldn't believe what he was seeing. He felt like the gods were playing a practical joke on him for his failure to protect his student. But lo and behold, the blonde got closer and closer until he was right in front of him. Hey, Kakashi-sensei, how have you been? The blonde greeted him. And Naruto, is that you? Kakashi asked, still questioning if the blonde in front of him was real or not. Sure is, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto answered. Man, you haven't changed a bit, you know. Kakashi's eye began to water, but he stayed strong and kept his composure. Smile lines appeared around his lone eye, signifying there was a huge smile hidden under his mask. Welcome home, Naruto. At that moment, Naruto's companions were able to catch up with him. Talia arrived first and punched the blonde on the arm. Ow. What was that for? Naruto complained. That's for leaving us behind, you idiot. Can't you see Grover can't run as fast as us? You're lucky that billboard-headed teammate of yours was keeping an eye on him. Talia scolded with the others right behind her. Good morning, Kakashi-sensei, Sakura greeted. I see he's surprised you as well. To be honest, I still can't believe you're here. Kakashi said, observing the blonde and his unfamiliar clothes. Hope you didn't miss me too much. Naruto joked. Why do you think he's always here ever since you disappeared? Sakura said, arrived with Grover in tow. Oh, sorry for disappearing like that, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto apologized. It's no problem, Naruto, Kakashi waved him off. What's important is alive and well. Oh, these are my friends from, the other continent, you know, Naruto gestured to his friends. Good morning, Talia said, while Grover gave meek wave. It's a pleasure to meet you, Kakashi said. I hope Naruto hasn't caused a whole lot of trouble wherever you're from. Oh, you have no idea, Grover said. Hey, I was behaving myself, you know. Naruto protested. Yeah, what about Tantalus waking up in the middle of the lake, Grover said. He deserved that. Naruto defended himself. What about you switching the signs for the ladies' and men's bathroom a day or two before we left for here? Talia asked. A goofy grin appeared on Naruto's face. That wasn't my idea, but I gotta admit that one was pretty funny, you know. Talia shook her head. Well, I do apologize for any trouble Naruto here has caused, Kakashi said. He has always been a troublemaker ever since he was young. Naruto just scratched the back of his head like he always did. Say, Kakashi-sensei, wanna grab a quick bite to eat? Naruto asked his sensei. I'm sorry, Naruto, but I have a mission to go to, Kakashi explained. How about when I get back? Sure thing, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto said. But, if it's all the same with you, I'm going on ahead there. I know you will, Naruto. You must have missed your favorite ramen a lot, haven't you? Kakashi said. Oh, you know it. Naruto beamed. Well then, gotta run, Kakashi-sensei. The ramen is waiting for me. Run along now, then. Kakashi sent him on his way, to which he did, once again leaving his friends in the dust. Naruto, wait up. You're forgetting about us again. Talia yelled. Oh right, Naruto ran back. I hope you won't get tired of Naruto. He's always been hyperactive, Kakashi said. Oh, we don't mind, Grover said. He's sort of beacon of hope for us. Yes he is, Kakashi said. Sakura nodded. There's just a way with him that makes you want to follow him, you know. I agree, Grover said. Anyway, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Kakashi, Talia said. See you later. The silver-haired Jonin turned to the monument and said to himself, thank you for watching over him, Obito, then turned to Naruto's companions from the land of the gods. I'll see you guys around then. Kakashi waved goodbye and disappeared with a puff of smoke. Naruto ran back to his friends. Come on guys. It's waiting for me. What is? Grover asked. What else? Naruto said. The food of the gods. You have ambrosia here. Talia asked, turning a weird look from the Pinkett. No, silly. The real food of the gods, ramen. ICHIRAKU ramen shop. Man, I can't believe I'm going to taste Ichiraku's gain after all this time, Naruto said, practically with stars in his eyes and mouth watering from the thought of the food. But you had some back in the other continent, Grover said. It's different when you have the original coming from Konoha, no matter how similar the knockoff products taste like. I didn't really mean that Hibi-sama. I just needed to be subtle. Naruto said, thinking that last part to himself. I believe it's what Annabeth would call framing, Talia answered. Yeah, like that. Naruto agreed. The food tastes better if you eat the food where it actually came from. When did you become like this, Naruto? Sakura asked. You just never noticed, chasing after Sasuke and all, Naruto answered. Sakura didn't know what to say. The idiot didn't dare answer back to her before, but here he was doing so without fear of her beating him up. Although, her cheeks did heat up at Naruto's teasing. That's Naruto. A new voice recognized the blonde again. You're really back. A girl from the group of 3 shinobi happened to pass by. More of Naruto's friends? Talia asked. Sakura nodded. The girl was fair skin, light blue eyes, and long platinum blonde hair worn in a ponytail reaching her waist, bangs covering the right side of her face, and a red clip on the left side of her hair. She was wearing a purple outfit consisting of high-collared blouse matched with an apron skirt. She wore mesh armor on her thighs, elbow, and knees, and stud earrings adorning her ears. The other one had a rotund build and markings on his cheeks in the form of swirls. He has spiky, brown hair that grew all the way to his waist. He sported a red suit with plated armor on his torso, arms, and upper legs, having the same kanji for she on the front. He wore a standard red forehead protector with a red band and stud earrings on his ears. The last one had narrow brown with a lazy expression on his face that disappeared when he saw the blonde. He wore a standard Konoha shinobi outfit customized with green-lined mesh armor on his wrist and ankles, and the plate of his forehead protector was sewn. Like his teammates, there was stud earring on his ears. These were Naruto's friends, originally assigned in Team 8 under Asuma Sarutobi. You guys, Naruto said, ignoring the protests of his stomach despite being really close to the food he had been deprived from all those years he had lived in the land ruled by the gods. The two boys in the team stared at Naruto just like they had seen a ghost. There he was, their teammate when they went to pursue Sasuke all those years ago. Shikamaru and Choji stared at Naruto like he grew a second head. Like everyone else Naruto met that day, they couldn't believe their eyes. I see the rumors were true, Naruto's fellow blonde said. Yeah, I just got back today, Naruto answered. I thought you said you weren't popular, Talia said. Could you give me a break, Talia? Naruto pleaded. I told you I was not when we were younger. Yeah, right, Talia said. Who's this supposed to be? Ino asked, narrowing her eyes. They're my friends from the other continent, Naruto explained. And Naruto, you're alive, the rotund shinobi interjected, getting over his shock. Ino's expression changed. They've never been the same since you were lost. Neji and Kiba too. The shinobi in a flak jacket stepped forward, allowing the tears to fall from his eyes. After 2 years of keeping it all in, he couldn't help it anymore. He poured all his heart in front of the shinobi that he thought he had failed. And Naruto, he said, bowing his head to the blonde. I'm sorry I couldn't bring everyone back home. Some leader I turned out to be. Hey, it wasn't your fault, Shikamaru, you know. Naruto placed a hand on his friend's shoulder. What's important was we were able to see each other again, you know. Shikamaru wiped his eyes dry. I suppose you're right. You do owe us an explanation about where you've been all this time and who your friends are, Choji said. Perfect, Ino added in glee. You can tell us over some yakiniku. Sakura and Talia frowned, but it was the former who made her thoughts known. Oh no you don't, Ino. Sakura interjected. We were on our way to get some ramen. What's your problem, Sakura? He's just your teammate, am I right? Ino answered back, to which planted the seeds for another argument to brew. Naruto sighed. Were they always like this? Grover hobbled over on his crutches. Naruto sighed. No, they weren't. They were always chasing my other teammate back when we were kids. I don't know what could have happened. Meanwhile, the sounds of glee echoed through the halls of a particular temple of one god in Olympus as she watched the scene of a familiar whiskered blonde trying to break up two arguing girls. Dite, I'm coming in. A gruff voice called out from the temple's entrance. The owner of the voice revealed himself. He was a huge and muscular man wearing a muscle shirt covered by a bulletproof vest and a leather duster completed by wrap-around shades covering his eyes. He should be familiar to us readers to be Ares, the god of war. Ares walked into the room where the squealing was coming from. He let out a huge sigh as he saw what the source of the squeals was doing. You're watching him, again. Ares scolded. You know, he humiliated me in front of everybody, right? Oh. Get over it, the lady said. You're a god, he's a mortal. That's what makes it worse, Ares grumbled. Come on, the lady gestured to Ares to sit down beside her. Look at him. He looks so undecided. Why are you so interesting about this anyway? Ares asked, not really getting her point. The lady pouted. Oh, you wouldn't get it. You're always about war this and war that, doesn't it get old? I'll have you know, wars have changed over the past millennia if you just paid attention. Ares tried to explain. The lady gave him an impassive look. But isn't it the same fighting over and over? That's. The god of war didn't know what to say. See, at least in love, you get to see the people falling for each other, the passion, and the heartbreak. It's a different story every time. Okay, okay, I get it. He said even though he really didn't. But why are you interested in the QB squirt in particular? Oh nothing, the lady smirked. Just trying to spice up his love life, that's all. ICHIRAKU ramen stand. The two ladies bickered with the third one looking at Naruto with an annoyed expression on his face. Aku. Asterisk Naruto let out a huge sneeze. Geez, I feel like someone is talking about me. He turned to Talia who wasn't amused. I swear I don't know why they're like this, the blonde in question defended himself. Looks like someone became popular when he was gone, Grover snickered in jest. Shikamaru heaved a huge sigh, the way he always did since they were kids. What a drag, okay, Ino, Sakura. Break it up. Choji and Naruto helped separate the two arguing Konoiki. As much as I like the idea of more yakiniku, Choji began. Don't we have a mission to go to? Ino pouted. Can't this wait a little longer? We can't, Ino, no matter how much a drag it might be, Shikamaru lazily answered. Then, how about a rain check? Ino asked his fellow blonde. Sure. Whenever everyone's free, Naruto answered. Ino frowned. Everyone. Why not? It could be a reunion for all of us, you know. Naruto said. Then, we'll catch you later, then. Choji said with the thought of yakiniku motivating him to complete the mission as soon as possible. And Naruto, Shikamaru spoke up. I'm glad you're back, but don't disappear like that again. I won't, Naruto answered, to which Shikamaru lightly punched his shoulder and began to leave. You win this round, billboard brow, Ino taunted, wanting to get the last word to her childhood friend, earning only a smirk from her. You have some explaining to do, mister, Talia said with her arms crossed. What? Why me? Naruto whined. Cause it was your big mouth who said everyone hated you when you were young, Talia said. They did. Naruto tried to reason, but Talia ignored him. And you, Ms. Fivehead, Talia turned to Sakura. Okay. Okay, no more fighting. Naruto pulled Talia away from Sakura by her shoulder. He then got in between them and clasped his palms together. Can we please have some ramen now? Naruto said with a pleading look. The two girls looked at Naruto and couldn't help but soften up with the face Naruto was making. All right, I suppose, the two girls said at the same time. The blonde's eyes brightened up and said, what are we waiting for then? Let's eat. Leaf Hospital. Ichiraku Ramen actually treated them well once they entered the stand. The owner of the shop and her daughter actually got teary-eyed when they saw the blonde. They were overjoyed of seeing the boy who they treated as part of their family ever since. All four of them were actually treated by the owners to ramen as a celebration for Naruto's homecoming. The blonde actually helped himself to as much bowls of ramen as he could eat, so the other three had to drag him away when the time for his checkup drew near. And so there they were waiting. Naruto walked out of the examination room after having his medical checkup. So, how did it go? Talia asked. Everything seems to be in order. It was Tsunade who answered her question. He's as healthy as he will ever be. It seems you treat him well there. Oh, you don't know how much he eats back there, Grover commented. I don't find that too hard to believe, Sakura said, earning a round of laughs from everyone present. Anyway, your results don't give me any reason why I shouldn't reinstate you as a shinobi. I will immediately process your reinstatement, along with the papers to grant you the same traveling perks as Jiraiya. Thank you so much, Tsunade no Barkan, Naruto said in gratitude, but he perked up at the mention of his master. Speaking of Ero Sennin, where is he right now? He has been made aware of your return and is waiting for you in the land of the toads, Tsunade answered. Why? What's going on there? Naruto asked. The toads have requested your presence there, Tsunade began. They're calling you there to train you in the toad arts. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.